Yo, what's up, guys? So, is the mic working? That's the first question. I'm eating like a lemon drop. What's up, Aiden? All right, I have so many good things that I want to go over. It feels like it's been forever since the last live, but it really hasn't been that long. I mean, it's been a week. So after this week, we're gonna get back onto Friday lives every Friday morning. So that's starting the 30th. And I'm probably gonna spit this lemon thing out. So hold on. All right. Blake, I've been good. I've been good. How about you? We got all the homies in here. We got Salvador Blanco, Blake, JT, Aiden, Rodney, Yiko. That's a cool name. I like that. Yiko, are you pretty new? I feel like you're new. Rodney's here for date night. What's up, Rodney? JT's close to a 360. Um, Guys, this is sick. This is sick. I missed you guys. It's only been a week, like I said, but I know I was letting a lot of people down by missing out on the Friday lives. So story time for the 7 of you that are in here. Tucson's like 4 hours. I was gonna go over for the USA BMX freestyle contest just to kind of hang out, see what's up. I knew there would be a lot of my homies over there. And then it was like Thursday. I think it was Thursday before I was in the gym and I put a Snapchat on earlier and like I popped my neck like this. Like you could probably hear it. Did you guys hear that? I don't know if the mic's sensitive enough, but so I popped my neck like that every morning, and then I did it this way, and like it kind of hurt. And then I went to the gym, and I was like doing this thing, with cables, and I freaking pull and like I tweak something, and you can maybe tell. So look at my neck, right, and tell me if it looks like it's leaning to one side. I can see it in the reflection. It's going that way just a little bit. And so I don't know what happened. I was in a lot of pain. I was like, "Oh god." And this has happened one other time. Like I can do this, but if I go to the left, like that's as far as my head'll go. So I went to the chiropractor and he's like, "Well, I want to do x-rays." So he did x-rays. And then I was like, my head literally hurts too much to go to Tucson and sleep on my mom's air mattress. I was like, I'm not about that. So I didn't go. Then I went to the chiropractor again. So he looked at my x-rays with me. You guys tell me if you think this is a scam because I didn't think chiropractors were a scam until this. So he says, "Well, you're almost what's up, Barrick?" He's like, "Your spine goes like this, and at 20 degrees, it's scoliosis. You're only at 18 degrees. I could probably fix it. Your head should curve back at 43 degrees, and your head is curving at 8 degrees, and da da da. So all this stuff." And he's like, "I could fix you, but you need to come in 3 times a week for 2 months. And after the insurance, like you're gonna have to pay $1,300." And I was like, Jesus Christ, that's a lot of money, right? Um, that's a crazy amount of money. And but my neck hurts. So like if he fixes me, it's kind of worth it. I don't know. I don't know. What do you guys think? So I went down the YouTube rabbit hole last night about chiropractor scams, and I pretty much decided maybe I'm not going to go with that and just just let it heal on its own. So anyway, that's story time for you guys. I see there's a lot of there, I've got so many stories for you guys. Um but anyway, I'm going to pop through the chat. So first we got to give our first 5 people the moderator for the rest of the live. So we had Jackson Skate, moderator. Cool, cool. We got Lucas. Lucas is always one of the first ones. Judah Flynn. Judah Flynn says, "Oh, I'm so ready for another chill night. Cheers." Judah, you get that blue wrench for the rest of the live. We got Bizzle. Guys, Bizzle bought a Cult Devotion and like within a few months has literally upgraded everything on that bike to be fully custom, and it looks really sick. Bizzle, glad you are here. And Yiko, you are number 5. All right, so those are our 5 wrench people for the rest of the day. Congratulations. And yeah, okay, so let's start reading some of your guys' comments. as always, guys, this one I like to kind of just chill and talk more than anything, but I love answering the questions. I don't know what this there's some piece of food here on my desk. I like live right here on this freaking computer all the time. Anyway, Blake BMX JT. Oh, I saw Salvador Blanco says good morning. Dude, it's almost my bedtime, but BMX JT is close to 360. Everyone say good job. Are you doing a 3 tap or are you doing a full 360? Either way is pretty cool. I learned 3 tap first, and actually going from 3 tap to 360 was really tough for me. Was it last live? We had somebody asking about that last live or 2 lives ago, and either they told me on the next live or on Instagram, they're like, "Oh, I sucked my knees up and spun a little harder and I almost got it." It's like, yeah, dude, that's sick. Lucas is really close to a bar. Lucas, congrats, man. That's sick. It's the BSD bike, the BSD bike power you got going on there. Does the Lucas, does the trampoline bike actually help learn tricks? When I was at Woodward last year, we'd play on the trampoline bike all the time in the gym. But for me, it was honestly harder on the trampoline bike than it is in real life. Maybe I just suck at it, or the trampoline bike was kind of ghetto, but I have no idea. Let me know. I'm actually curious because if you guys have a trampoline and you can make a tramp bike and it actually helps, like go for it. I see some pretty sick tricks on there. Bizzle says he loves the new setup. He only got to ride it twice since. Dang, dude, you're a busy guy. I always see you out doing different things. That's cool though. Yiko says, I'm new. I'm getting a BMX because of you. That's awesome, man. I'm so glad. Look, like I always tell you guys, so at first my whole goal was to grow the sport of BMX, right? And I was like, that's boring. So now it's like to actually get a million people into the sport. I don't know where I'm at, but with Yiko, we're at least we've got one, so only 999,000 left. So Yiko, that's sick, man. He's 15 years old on May 26th. I'm gonna get a Sabrosa. Let him. Okay, guys, I wasn't gonna. I can't spoil it, but Tuesday. So the reason I've been missing out on the lives, the biggest reason, is I took my camera and I moved it closer and I pointed it at my big whiteboard, and then I moved the lights around and I did like a huge um the video that's going to come out on Tuesday is like an hour and 15 minutes long. And essentially what I did is I got 7 bikes from the $500 to $600 price range. And I did a tournament style with them. So I put them all in a tournament bracket. It was like the Mongoose Legion versus the We the People Reason, the Cult Devotion versus the Sunday X. And I just did individual comparisons of each of them using the Dougsterbob score and then seeing which one moved forward, and one of them obviously won, and it was a lot of fun. It's a really solid video. So over the next month, those videos will be coming out. So I had to move everything around to do that. And the reason I brought that up, Yiko, is because the Sabrosa Ledum is in that series. It's a $540 bike. Personally, one of my favorites for street, but you'll have to check that out and see how it actually did in the tournament. Maybe you just made a mistake, Eco. I don't know, but I feel like you got one of my bike recommendations, and I know I put that on there for you. So that's sick, man. That's sick. Rodney, no. Rodney says I did a 180 once, jacked the ankle, and I'm getting old. Have to start landing on the first try. Rodney, I've done a lot of ankle McTwisties is what we're gonna call it, an ankle McTwisty, and they're awful. They're like, dude, it's weird because something like that shouldn't hurt that much. I mean, it shouldn't hurt that much, but it does. What I would always do is get a little trash can and just fill it with ice, lots of ice in the trash can, then fill it with water and hold your breath. Only hold your breath because it makes it less painful. And then just shove your foot in there. Make sure it gets up to like I'd say mid calf, right? Or mid leg. What is that even called? Not in between your foot and your knee. In between, make sure the water's up that high. And dude, leave your ankle in there for like 15 minutes, out for 15. And usually doing that at Woodward when I'd McTwisty my ankle, I could ride again pretty solid in about 2 days. I definitely wear an ankle brace after that until it gets fully healed. But dude, sorry to hear that. Hopefully the ice helps. Barrick thinks the mongoose. What else do we hold on? I got skipped all the way to the bottom. Yiko says, I tried BMX this summer with my friends and I loved it. So I wanted to have one. Um, that's something I've been trying to figure this out, Yiko, is how so a lot of people have been getting into BMX recently and why? Is it because of riding with their friends? Is it because of social media? Like, what got you guys into the sport recently? So I think a lot of you guys are relatively new to the sport, right? Let me know because for me, it was seeing a guy riding a bike and I was like, that looks cool. So I bought a Walmart bike thinking it was the same thing. And it wasn't, but it was cool. And that's kind of how I got into it. I think Barrick used to race and then he got into freestyle. Barrick is going to be the guest on the podcast next for this one coming out on Tuesday, hopefully. And I think it's hopefully we can figure out so that it's just Barrick and I on the podcast and then we'll have guests. That's kind of where I want to go with it. You guys only see Barrick in the live sometimes, but I think you will if he's not awkward on the podcast, it'll be really good. It'll be so solid. Yo, where's hold on. Sean, where's Sean? Sean, are you in here? Lucas says if we weren't a bunch of broke teenagers, we would give Doug the money. Lucas, you guys would fund my chiropractor's vacation. That's what you guys would do. I don't think it's okay. It's okay. You guys being here in the live is all I really care about. Um oh, Bizzle, I didn't know you got it in August. That's kind of what is that? 6 months ago? 8 months ago. Okay. Yeah, no, that's a good amount of time to have that thing fully custom. Blake says I can't 360 a bike. I tried and I ain't gonna try for a while again. Blake, I don't like the attitude. I think I saw down here at the bottom that you had to go, but Blake, you got to keep trying. That's all there is to it, man. You got to keep trying. Blake says I always have to leave early. I have to go look at a house with my parents. Nemo, what's up, Nemo? Um Barrack's awkward in real life. Dude, it's a million degrees in here. I'm like sweating already. Can you guys tell? Oh well. Oh well. Hold on. Dustin says, "How was your weekend, Doug?" Dustin, my weekend was not it was kind of depressing, honestly. Like I said, I did a McTwisty on my neck, and so I rode once with Barrick yesterday, but I mostly went just to like chit chat and pick his brain and hang out. And then that was yesterday, huh? Oh my god, no. It was bad. I'm glad you brought that up, Dustin. We were at the skate park, right? Saturday, 6 trillion kids running around playing tag, playing slide down the skate park. And the biggest thing, this got me. This got me. And guys, Barrett can attest to this. I'm like very calm. I never ever get worked up ever, right? And I'm riding along, trying to have fun. I can only turn my head this way because this way hurts. I have to turn my whole body. And I'm just riding and I go to drop into the bowl and I'm about to drop in and I look and there's like 4 15-year-old skaters just laying there, laying down, chilling right where I drop in. And I stopped so I didn't kill them, right? And I hit one of their boards and it rolled down in on top of them. And then I tried to just roll through straight instead of dropping in. There was like a board, a backpack, a board, another backpack, and I just like rolled, tried my best to maneuver around them, right? And then I go up and I sit on the other side of the park with Barrick, and I'm like, dude, guess what? So I told him the story, right? This security guard had the audacity to come up. He walked around the park, come up and said, "Hey, man, you gotta watch out." I I gotta watch out. I was like, "Are you?" And I wasn't, like, super friendly at that point because that kind of pissed me off. So anyway, with a few explicitives, is that how you say that? Expletives? Whatever. I told him what I thought about that whole situation and that he had the audacity to tell me to watch out. I was like, "Bro, you guys come you make a big deal about people wearing their masks, and the biggest danger is these kids running around, these kids laying in the bowl, and there's stuff everywhere. Like, are you?" And he's like, "Hey, you need to watch out." I was like, "They need to watch out. Like, what are they doing laying there in the middle of the bowl?" I literally usually jump like 5 feet into that quarter, right? And they're laying right at the bottom of that. Three of us would have died. And I was like, he's like, "Well, I can't tell them to watch out." I'm like, "What are you doing?" So anyway, that's now I'm all worked up again. So anyway, that was my drama for the weekend. Not a good weekend. But he left and carried on after that, and the kids got out of the way magically. And if it was little kids, like, yes, it's kind of annoying, but it's more understandable because they don't necessarily know, basic skate park etiquette or self-awareness. But 15, 16-year-olds, it's like, are you serious? Come on. Like, anyway, so that's how my weekend was. How was your weekend, Dustin? I hope your weekend was a little bit better. I hope you guys enjoyed the story time. I'm gonna have to clip that. That's a good Instagram clip, I think. Maybe not. Maybe it'll get me canceled. You guys think I was in the wrong? Like, should I have watched out or am I tripping? You know what I mean? Blake says 5K coming soon. Dude, it's actually this last little bit, this last 50 has really gone a lot faster than the first 500 or so. So it's definitely coming faster. I think that once I get these tournament type videos pumped out and get them for the $400 to $500 price range, that's going to be the big one, because that'll include the Kink Switch, the Kink Whip, and just a lot of the Sunday Forecaster, a lot of other popular bikes that people are researching right now. So I think that one, will get 5K ASAP Rocky. I'm hyped. You guys are part of something exciting. All right. Yeah, so Yiko says, "I hope I like it. I do street and park. I know the bike is heavy, but I don't need the 4 pegs." So that was something that I kind of brought up in the comparison videos because it's crazy to me that the Letum is definitely one of the best bikes right out of the box for street because it has that free coaster, 4 pegs. It has a sprocket with a bash guard, which you're only really going to get on more expensive We the Peoples. And it is very heavy, but then again, it's full chromoly. It's got double wall rims. So overall, that bike is like, dude, that's a solid choice for sure. Nemo, wait. Yeah, Nemo. Oh, wait. JR says, "What's up, broski? What's up, JR? Thank you for popping in here and hanging out with us." Nemo says, "So my friend has had a BMX bike since Christmas, and now I got one on Monday. Congrats, man. Welcome to the BMX community. That's sick. The problem is that I'm trying to 180, but I ride with my left foot forward and left also." Oh, no. So you are goofy footed, Nemo. You are goofy footed. That's okay. It's Here's the thing with that. For a lot of people, it is a big like hindrance. I think Barrick is goofy footed. I think Barrick is either way, you spin towards your forward foot, you're goofy footed, and that can be good and bad. So when you learn spins the goofy footed way, you're going to have a really easy time learning opposite spins. And so you can think of that kind of like a pro to it, and not, but it is going to be harder initially to learn it. In bike school, we made it since Nick, the guy that helped me do bike school, he's goofy footed also. And so he dedicated a whole section onto explaining it and explaining how it can help you and how it can kind of hurt you. And it was really cool to be able to do that with the course, because then in, say, tail whip, for example, Nick can pop in and give a goofy footed explanation about how it's different to do it goofy footed. And same with a bunch of different tricks. So, like I said, it is gonna hurt you, but if you know how to learn right through that, then you can just get past it. Some of the best goofy footed riders, like 360 down whips, are nothing to them because they have a really easy time spinning opposite and kicking a regular whip. So there's a lot of things like that that could really help you out. So don't stress it, man. Just keep progressing. The biggest thing I think is you're gonna have to maybe build a little more strength so that you can get that bike around. When you spin normal, right? If you're right foot forward and you spin to the left, your back foot can put pressure on the back end of the bike and help guide it around to a full 180. When you spin towards your front foot, there's nothing on that back end of the bike kind of pushing it around. So that's why it's a little bit harder. But you'll be fine. You'll be fine. JR says he got the Colt butter pegs and they hit different. That's funny. I mean, good. I'm glad you like them. And I always talk about on these, I'm like, people ask what are good pegs, and I'm like, none of them. They're all scams. But I don't know. I don't know if that's necessarily the case. I'm sure Colt's done something different to the butter pegs to make them slide better. But dude, they're just so expensive. I can never get over that. I was just looking at pegs on Alibaba, and there's or what is it? Metal pegs with plastic sleeves, uh, white label, so unbranded, for like $5, $3 if you buy a couple hundred, and then they're selling them for 20. That's just crazy. But oh well. What can I do? What can I do? All right, Bizzle, this is exciting. Bizzle got back into the sport when COVID started, and all he did was stay home and drink beer. And after a few months, I needed something to get back in shape. And since getting back on the bike, he loves it. That's sick, man. Um, I think that was kind of the case for a lot of the guys over, I don't know, I'd say the guys over 30. It was like they're just stuck at home, and either they had kids and their kids were out riding, or they just wanted to get out and do something. So they got back into BMX. And this, when things are starting to wind down, right? I'm sure you guys have noticed in my area anyway, it's a lot less strict and crazy. And I'm curious to see if the huge influx of people that we had over the last year, if they stick to the sport or if they kind of let it phase back out. I do that here and there with video games. Like I'll get back into, say, Arc, right? I played Arc religiously, and I'll get back into it and just grind for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. And then I'm like, all right, I'm done. And then I'll just quit. And I think it's gonna be like that for a lot of people with BMX, but hopefully not. You never know. I'm gonna drink some water. Dallas says, "What's up, Doug?" What's up, Dallas? I've seen you. You're in like every live, dude. It's so sick to have you back on here. Yiko says, "I always wanted to go ride a skate park, not get a skate park. I tried skating, but it wasn't my type. But after I saw my friends doing BMX and after I wanted to try it, I really liked it." I have a small handful of friends that can BMX and skate, and I've tried, and it's impossible. I mean, it's not actually impossible, but it's really hard. I think BMX is just so much easier, and I don't know why. But Yiko, you made a great choice getting into BMX. JR, yeah, Sean, you're in here. What's up, Sean? Oh, I missed JR's comment. Okay, okay. Figured I'd check in. Got to crash for work in the morning. Got to make that money for bike parts. All right, JR, thanks for popping in, man. Good to chit chat. Salvador Blanco, what is your worst injury? Um, I like these kinds of questions. Uh, I think my worst one would probably be my face. So if you guys in a couple videos, I've talked about like how I used to be a hardcore weight weenie, and I would just buy really cheap, really light parts. Like there's a brand called Guerrera, and I think, or maybe it was the Mutiny frame I broke. Anyway, our skate park's junk. It's really sharp transition, so it takes a beating on the bike. But that's a little backstory. What happened was I was hitting a spine that's not really a spine, but it was kind of a spine, and I hit it, and I landed, and I cased the backside of it, and when I cased it, just the 2 tubes, the head tube completely broke away from the top and down tube, and so I cased it, it broke away, my bars went straight down, and my face went straight down, and I didn't have a full face, so I just kinda smacked my face, and the bike broke in half, and this tooth, it bent all the way back, and then this tooth chipped. So there's a lot of kids around that picked up some of my teeth pieces for me and gave them to me. That was nice of them. And and then I just picked up like the two halves of my bike. I think Barrick went. My grandma was at the in the car. I was in high school, and she just sits and talks to her sister on the phone while I ride. And he went and was like, "Hey, I don't mean to like alarm you, but Doug's down." And then I think she freaked out. And then I like carried my bike to the car and I wanted a picture of it. There's a picture somewhere on Facebook. And so what ended up happening was this tooth, a few, was it months? Like a month later, it just got really yellow. So when I went to the hospital, they had me bite on something and they pulled it and it straightened it back out. And then this chin right here, I think I had to get 5 or 6 stitches. It split open really bad. So I got stitches there. The hospital didn't really do anything for my teeth. A few months later, the tooth turned like bright yellow, dark yellow, whatever. So I had to go to the dentist. He said, "Oh, your tooth's dead. You broke the root. You need a root canal." So I got a root canal. Okay, got the root canal, which was it wasn't that bad, to be honest. I've had 2 now, and it wasn't that bad. So they did that, they ground the tooth down, they put a crown on, and then it's like 2 months after that, I was in the hospital because I was peeing like 20 times a day. I lost like 40 pounds in a month. It was like I was like damn near dying, right? And so I went to the hospital. This is just a few months later, and they're like, "Oh, you're diabetic." And I'm like, "Oh, that's crazy." So that's when I found out I was type 1 diabetic. And now the patient, there's theoretically there's no correlation there like to that crash. But here's the thing. After talking to like a handful of different type 1 diabetics in like different communities, a lot of us ended up being diagnosed after some kind of traumatic stress that we put our body through. So whether it was like a car accident, whether it was a freaking bike crash and a root canal, there's a bunch of things like that, and it's been months after. So I genuinely do tie it to that whole situation, and then there's a lot of research about how our nerves and our teeth connect to our central nervous system, and there's a bunch of different things that can happen when our teeth are messed up, but I don't know if I go that deep into it. So theoretically, that crash gave me diabetes, and it was definitely the worst crash, but injury-wise, I broke my hand, but that's really about it other than that. So, crazy, huh? That's a crazy story. Lucas, I don't know what you're doing, but you're doing good with interesting. Lucas, whatever, you did good. I don't know. I don't know how to work this moderator thing. So anyway, I was telling that good story. Miss Honey was pleasuring herself. Terrible. I saw Chase popped in. So Lucas says, "Isn't a 360 down whip called a decade?" And it depends who you ask. To me, there's a clear distinction between a 3 down whip and a decade. And the way that I look at it is if you're right foot forward and you spin an opposite 360 but kick a regular whip, your whip generally is going to meet you at 180 and then you finish out the rotation. So that would be a 360 down whip. A decade is if you're say right foot forward and you pop off and the back end of your bike stays facing straight and you just pivot around to go around the bike. That's a decade to me. A 3 down whip would be an opposite spin with the whip and it like swings around and catches halfway. That's how I distinguish it. Sean gave me $2 and said, "Old man alert. What's up, Sean? Sean, you're funding my chiropractic scam that I was talking about earlier. He wants to fix me, wants me to go 3 times a week for 2 months for $1,300 so that he can fix my back." And I don't know, man. I think it's a scam. Like Lucas thinks it's a scam too. Chase, I've got to find that picture of you fixing that kid's scooter in Vegas. It's the best picture ever. OMQZ says, any tips on learning how to lift up the back wheel when trying to bunny hop? Sean says your feet lift up the back end, and that's really it. The A lot of the way I hear a lot of people explain it is to essentially scoop with your feet. So if you stand on the ground, not and put one foot on the pedal and scoop it down. So instead of like this, it's like this. And then you can lift it up like this. You'll notice that you're able to lift the back. What you're doing when you get the back wheel up, I don't know. With a bunny hop, it needs to flow smoothly. But if you're doing it before the actual bunny hop, like you just want to lift the back wheel up to figure that out, just cruise, tip your feet down, throw your weight forward, and suck your knees up. And your feet scooping is what's actually going to lift it up, just like Sean said. Just like Lucas said, try to scoop your pedals from underneath with your feet. Yiko says, what do you think about the website timetoshinebmx.com? That's the website where I bought my bike. Yiko, okay. I've never ordered from Time to Shine, but I'm gonna Google something because I was doing some research for a video about good versus not so good shops. And from what I read, I'm pretty sure it was Time to Shine. There's a lot of bad things about them. Okay, so I just Googled Time to Shine BMX scam, okay? And the first thing, it takes me to a Vital post from 2017. So I don't know if how accurate this is, or maybe okay, let me just read it. Just a friendly warning to all my BMX family and friends this holiday season. If you receive an email like this from at Time to Shine BMX, ignore it. Despite how legitimate they seem, these guys are notorious scam artists. They will take your money and send nothing in return. They will put your phone number on their block list the first time you call about your non you paid for. I'd heard them doing this before, but ended up placing an order for one tire and them and took it for months. So definitely double check on that because yeah, okay. Google some reviews about it because I don't know, man. There might be a few people who have had a solid experience with them, but it sounds like this is 2017 again. Maybe they've gotten it together, but double check that, man, because I don't think it's a good deal. There was something else that I saw. I think it was a different live. Somebody post or they were looking for a certain brand of bike that I've literally never heard of. So I Googled it and it took me to a website that looked somewhat real to buy the bike, but it was like $200. And I was like, this can't be right. Right. So I just looked around at some different things and it absolutely was just a fake website. And so that's something like that I talk about a handful. And if you guys are in my email list, is dude, be careful who you're buying from. It's so easy. So I put a handful of bikes up on my shop.dougsterbob.com because I wanted Google to start ranking them. And I sold like 3 bikes and I don't actually have bikes. Like, what are you guys doing? And funded the money, and that cost me $60 through Shopify to actually but I took everything down because people are actually buying it and without doing any research. And the reason that that's happening right now is because of the shortage. And so just be super careful right now, guys, and double check everything. So Yiko, I hope that that is legit and that they didn't take your money, but you might want to double check on it. I don't know how long it's been. Give them some time. And then, like, dude, I'd give it 3 days. If you don't have a tracking number, then start like calling people and let me know. Keep me updated, man, because I will do what I can. And if not, them on blast. So anyway, um, Rodney's giving some J hop attempts. I think Barrick is Miss Honey. You guys think so? That'd be crazy. Beric's got 2 accounts going. As Miss Honey. All right. Oh, there's lots of good comments. Hold on, I gotta find these comments. Okay, Salvador Blanco says Gorilla. It's a Mexican brand. So no, it's a Guerrera. I think here I just typed it in. That's how you spell it. They do like they had Maltese bottom brackets and it was 2 euro bottom bracket or 2 euro bearings on each side pressed in and it was like 4-pound frame. It was super light, but it wasn't very good. So the clip vault says Dougsterbob, what's up? Thoughts on short versus long back ends on frames. Um this okay, here's the thing. Barrick and I talked about this for a split second yesterday is that both of us fully agree that it's really important just to get a bike and get riding, especially if it's your first bike. I never paid attention to frame length and anything, specs, whatever. I just got a riding. And that's really counterproductive to what I'm doing now in like terms of educating you guys on getting the perfect bike. But it I just progressed, right? I just rode and progressed. And then once you get to a certain point, you get some basic fundamentals. Then it's really important to start looking into different specs to fine tune your riding in the direction you want to go and help you progress at the optimum. Now, what I've learned about different lengths are just a couple things. So I switched over a few years ago. I hurt my knee and I went from a 21 with a 13.2-inch chainstay to a 20.7 0.65 chainstay, drastically smaller. And I'm 6'4". So by getting on that, 540s were the easiest thing I've ever done. I could do like a 540 on a hip, so it's not a full 540. I don't know. I don't know what the quick maths is, but very, very easy for spins. Okay. Manuals were easy to get into, but your balance point, instead of having like imagine the length of your balance point is how easy it is to control, right? So on 13.2, this is how easy it is to control. On that 12.7, it was like this. It just a slight movement of my leg would whip it up or drop it down. And so that was something that I really noticed. The other thing is airs on a shorter chainstay. It was so hard to go high and actually feel like I was in control. It was a lot of guesswork. So like I'd crank at the quarter and pull back and hope for the best. Whereas on that longer chainstay, you can really adhere, I guess, to the quarter and flow through it and have a lot more control that way. So it really, really, really depends on your style of riding. Like I've talked about before, I'm looking at building a new bike and going either really, really responsive or going really, really mellow and like, almost 14-inch chainstay or 12.5 again. I'm not sure which way I'm going to go, but go one way or the other and just see how it feels and see what happens. And then I can definitely let you guys know along the process. Dr. Schachter, what's up? Crandall is a plump and dreamy. Oh, how I adore him. Are you talking about Steve Crandall, Sean? All right. Inferno says, so I'm not sure if I should get into BMX or not. Is it worth it even if I'm a big guy? Yeah, dude. I think a lot of us actually riding is more about the good vibes. Um, there's just countless times that I've gone with friends like Chase, for example, on a road trip or gone to El Paso and just hung out with those guys up there. And it's just like we all can connect on a different level. Like everyone who's into BMX operates on a different wavelength. I don't know, it's kind of weird, but it's just like it's a good time, right? And then if you have a good group, Inferno, you build off of each other's energy and hype each other up regardless of the skill level. So theoretically, you would have really good friends that help you get better even if they're better than you. And dude, it's a good time for sure. What's that Barrick, what's that? bigger guy that rides bikes. He rides with, is it Colt all the time? I think Robbie Morales is a bigger guy, but I'm thinking of somebody else. Phil. Yeah, Phil. Look up, is it Phil Bruh or something on Instagram? He's a bigger dude and he does like a ton of manuals and stuff and has fun. That's what it's all about, right? One thing, uh, Hayden says Time to Shine is one of the local shops. So, okay, maybe you're in luck, man. Uh, Maybe Time to Shine is not a scam, but there is a lot of information about them not giving you your stuff. So be careful. But so Rogue Slinky says anyone can do BMX Inferno. You just need the right bike that fits. One thing, somebody messaged me on Instagram and said, "Hey, I am 15. Is it too late to get into BMX?" And that was a really weird question for me because to me, it's like I see people getting in their 20s, right? Or a different guy I met recently and he's 30, he got into it. Like people, you get into it at any age, but this kid was so concerned. He's like, is I'm like, no, I started when I was 13 and dude, it's uh, uh, that's just crazy that who's kids and telling them or who's poisoning people and saying you can't ride BMX because they're too fat or too whatever, too young. I don't know. Just get the freaking bike and have fun. Inferno, there's a lot of I don't know, man. There's a lot of guys, even bigger guys, taller guys, just getting on a 20-inch and trying to learn tricks. I don't know anything about 24, 26. You could look into 22 inches too, but maybe you want to go with a dirt jumper or something like that. Like maybe that's the right move for you is getting a is it 26-inch dirt jumper? And maybe that would be a lot more whatever, a lot more I want to say a lot more better, but that's not a word. A lot better for you. Dr. Shogster says go to the joint. It's like $60 a month and you can get 4 chiropractic adjustments. Never overpay for a chiropractor. I'm going to look it up real quick. The joint. Oh, yo, there's one in El Paso. Okay, okay. Dude, I'm going to check that out for sure cuz scam. I'm getting scammed. Thank you. You just saved me $1,300. You're only 5'7". Yeah, dude. I don't know how much you weigh, but the biggest thing that I tell people, if they weigh over like for me, example, I'm 215. I weigh 215. I'm 6'4". And even as a younger kid, I was probably 180 or so, and I would shred through high tensile steel bikes. So a lot of these guys are probably 150 or something like that, like significantly lighter, and a lower quality high tensile bike isn't going to be phased as much as like me at 180, 190, or even 200. So that's when quality really does matter a lot more than it does for lighter riders. um, if you're like over 200 for sure, look for something full chromoly, double wall rims, things like that, because the weight definitely puts on a lot of stress to the bike. Like I said, at my weight, I used to break a frame a year, like 8 months or so, I'd break a frame. And it's just a, and life happens. So yeah, check for full chromoly. I don't know your weight, but if you're over 200, definitely you want to go for that quality. Okay. I don't know. I'm trying to find the where I was at. I got skipped to the bottom again. And Brady says, "Sup, Doug? What do you think of the Colony premise bike? I just picked it up." I have not looked at any of Colony's complete bikes. Um, Wait, one of these I was looking at um for a different reason. Oh no, I looked at this on the last live, I think. Dude, it's a that's the premise is a very solid bike. And I always bring up my experience with Colony whenever it gets brought up. A few years ago, I bought my bike and it was all Colony profile and some demolition, I think, Colony profile, little, yeah, mostly Colony. Anyway, over the last few years, 3 years, 4 years, the frame still solid, the bars still solid. I cracked the forks after about 3 years, and that's some of the longest lasting forks I've had. So Colony is incredible quality, and the bike is definitely a good deal for the price, so you're gonna be hyped on it for sure. Sean, Catfish is a tiny guy, and it's funny to see him see him try and ride his bike, but he's actually good, so I don't know. Do you guys like Catfish? I don't particularly like Catfish. Rogue Slinky, what's up, man? He says, "What city do you feel has the largest BMX community?" That's a good question. I think what I've noticed, here's what I've noticed, wherever Daniel Dares is it North Carolina or South Carolina, he's building a pretty solid BMX community over there because of the action sports complex and a lot to train for the Olympics. But also, there's a very huge amount of people pro wise in going. So those are kind of the two pro towns that I've noticed. And Austin, I guess. Austin is a really big town. Overall, I definitely probably say Austin. Austin has a huge scene and a huge community. They have a decent amount of pros. Like San Diego, for example, it's weird any pros over there because the parks aren't that great. There's no shops and like I don't know. The scene just isn't that great, but I don't know. Yeah, definitely Austin. Yiko says, I saw Google reviews about the website. It's 4.6 stars, and the latest 5 out of 5. Received an email today that it will be shipped next week. I ordered it about a week ago. All right, man. It sounds like maybe they were sketchy at first or whatever, but hopefully you get your bike and you'll be good to go. Dr. Shockter says, "Are there any tricks that are easier on a longer bike? I just got a 21 and all I can do is bunny hop." How tall are you, man? Not many things are going to be easier on a longer bike, sadly, that I can think of. Yeah, I can't right off the top of my head, I think a smaller bike allows you to control it a lot more and maneuver it and just kinda whip it around and abuse it, a lot easier than a bigger bike. I mean, I guess on a bigger bike, like, going high, going fast, things like that, they're gonna feel a lot more controlled and a lot more comfortable, but that's really it, you know? And those aren't necessarily tricks, so Nemo says, "Peace out," and Lucas says, "Bye, Nemo. Hope you find Dory." I quit. All right, guys. That's no, I'm just kidding. Rice Grain. Hello, Rice Grain. Welcome to the live. Yeah. Okay. Yiko says, I'm switching school next week because of bullying and rumors. That's also a reason why I wanted to buy a bike just to change my ideas. So I think that is an issue for a handful of people who get into the sport and maybe not necessarily like just bullying and rumors and stuff like that. One, that's like sad that that happened to you, man. Hopefully, you are able to carry on at the new school and just get through it, dude. School is one of the worst experiences for introverts, and I think get through it, and then like real world definitely sucks more for some people. Hopefully, it doesn't suck more for you, but what I was gonna say is that for a lot of us, getting into the sport was a way to essentially escape or to just to be on our own, right? Like I'd play football. I absolutely hated it. I hated the fact that my performance was based on a calculation of my performance with all my other teammates. And so no matter how much of a percent I gave effort wise, like it could be brought down or brought up based on somebody else. And I'm kind of a control freak. So I like to be able to have control over my actions and my outcomes. And so so that was for me. I was like, I don't want to play football anymore. I want to ride this bike. And then Facebook memories come up and I'm like, that's crazy. I was learning manuals like 10 years ago and here we are now. Um but it's like there's a sense of community, but it's only when you seek it. You know, you could go ride your bike, be completely alone forever, and you can reach out, you can meet some homies and ride bikes with them, but it's only when you want it. Like you're not necessarily forced into it. And it's just a really healthy sport, in my opinion, mentally, not physically. It's healthy physically too, but definitely mentally. Ken says you don't know shit about bikes. Okay. Uh But yeah, Yiko, that's super unfortunate, man. And hopefully, dude, I know for sure, not hopefully, I know for sure BMX will be a good thing for you to get into and actually separate reality. You know what I mean? Yeah, Phil, bro, that's who I was thinking about. Barrick. What's up, Titus? I got skipped to the bottom. So usually I'm God, there's so many people in here. Hold on, I gotta go back up because I liked well, we're at 50 minutes. Maybe I should start skipping around on comments. I've gotta try and find where I was at. Okay, okay, I'm here. I'm here. Yeah, so Hayden's only 130. Like when you're under, I'd say under even 160, you're not really gonna affect your bike too much. And I don't really factor that into the reviews. Like I say mid-level, whatever, but weight does play into it. And I never thought about it too much until somebody asked me. And I don't know. It's but see, that's hard to say because the majority of you guys that are like under 150, you're still growing. And if you stick to the sport, like you're gonna be closer to 180 or so. So yeah. Rogue Slinky says New York seems to be doing good with the community. That's a really good point. You know, you see the Panza and the Billy Perry thing, they're really blowing it up. I think Bizzle's in the New York area, and they had a huge turnout to that Panza Jam, the Stimmy Jam. Chase says Denver. I don't know. I'm still gonna say Austin, but that's hard to say. That's really hard to say. When I think about it at pro wise, like I definitely want to say San Diego. That's where a lot of the bigger pros are moving to. But then again, you have like Aaron Ross and the whole Empire people in Austin. I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna research that and I will let you know next live. All right. I know you told me how to say your name last time. Desantles. Desatol. Dessatol says, I'm in the middle of purchasing parts to build my first custom bike, but I cannot find the We the People Doomsayer and the matte pastel blue color. I want the frame. Uh, Almost everything's out of stock right now. So either they're going to come out with another one and like a restock of frames, or you're going to have to wait till they drop more colors and then you're going to be have to find a new color. I was the same way because I want the night shift frame in Galaxy and then they don't have it. And so I like, do I want to buy a black one and pay a shop to paint it? No, I don't want to do that. But that's always an option. Brady says Toronto, Canada, which is where I'm from, has a huge scene because of the indoor facility. Yeah, you have Joyride, you have Drew Bazanson, you have Harvester, right, Brady? Harvester's where you're at. Tell Anthony I said what's up if you ever go in there. Cool guy, cool shop. Declan Kringle says, "Hey Doug, trying to get into BMX. Budget is around 500. I'm looking at the Kink Switch. You think that's a good buy?" Yeah, no, definitely. So the Kink Whip or the Kink Switch are my two favorite bikes that you could get for 500 or less. The Kink Switch has a free coaster, so be careful if you're not into free coasters. You might smack your knee a few times. It comes with pegs, comes with hub guards. So it's really street orientated. It's a pretty responsive frame, and it's a 20.75-inch top tube. The whip is 20.5 or 21. So really what I would do is I'd pick which of those three sizes you need and then base the bike you buy off of that. Glossy, I see you down here at the bottom. What's up, man? I'm just looking for some good comments. Pierce popped in. What's up, Pierce? Hi, bye. See you later. Titus. Guys, we got a small handful of new people in here, so that's pretty cool. Noah, you just type your question in, and if I don't like accidentally miss it, I will reply to it. So yeah. So Jax Crypto, what's up? Jax Crypto has not been doing very good this week. It's funny, like when it's doing good, I'm hyped, and when it's doing bad, I'm depressed. Um, oh, yeah, anyway. So Jax says he rides a 2005 Redline Mega XL 21.5-inch top tube, 9.5-inch bars, and he's 6'4", 260. So yeah, you definitely want to have a sounds like a good fit for you. So I only ride 21 and I'm 6'4", and part of me, Jax, part of me wants to go to a 21.25 or a 21.5, but I'm scared that I'm going to hate it. So my question for you is, how do you like it? Do you feel like it's too big to actually control, or is it a good feeling bike? My next question for all of you guys, this got me wondering. So if I were to say that I wanted to create handlebars that 99.9% of people would ride size-wise, what rise would you guys say? Would you say it's 9-inch, 9.5 like Jax rides, 8.75? Like what size do you guys ride, or what size do you guys think is the most popular rise wise? Because that's something that a lot of complete bikes don't necessarily say right off the bat. I think most of them are maybe close to 9, but if the trend is like, I feel like a lot of people are riding 9.5. Like if that's the trend, why are complete bikes only coming with 9-inch? You know what I mean? Let me know because I'm curious. Titus is 13 and 5'10. I met this kid named Dylan, I think, ended up following me on TikTok, and like was he got famous because he was 6'6" or something and only either 13 or 15. And he rides bikes. So that's how he found me. And it was so funny, one, to see a really tall dude on BMX, but then two, like homie almost hits his head on doorways. So Titus, you're gonna be right there. I think in a few years you'll be 15, like you'll hit that growth spurt, you'll be 6'4". That's crazy. Essa Bishara says, just got my first bike today, off from work tomorrow. What's the first thing I should try or learn? Essa, I always, always say bunny hop is going to be one of the most important things that you can learn, because to bar spin, to tail whip, to 360, to 180, to crank flip, to G turn, like you need to be able to get both wheels off the ground to do almost any trick in the world. So You need to learn bunny hops, and it's boring. I mean, right at first it's not boring, but it gets boring because you're like, "Bro, I've been doing bunny hops for like 7 days straight for the last 6 months, and cool, keep going." You know? And I talk about this in one of my ebooks is like set a bunny hop thing and consciously try and hop higher and higher, because the higher you can hop, the more power you're initially going to have when controlling the bike and things like that. So bunny hop should be the very first thing. And then after that, fakies are good. And then because you need to learn hops and then you need to learn fakies, because then you're able to link a 180 fakie together. Noah says I moved from New York and I'm just now regretting it because I recently got into BMX. Where'd you move to, Noah? I feel like most places, if they're a decently sized town, you're gonna find BMX riders. Like, I wouldn't be too depressed yet. There's some of them Barrick only comes out at night, you know. So if you only ride during the day, you'd never meet Barrick. And then Chase only comes out in the morning. So everyone rides at different times. You'll run into, different people for sure. Look at Bizzle making friends with Panza. If you ever talk to Bizzle again, or Bizzle, if you ever talk to Panza again, I need you to say, "Do you remember Hannah that you went to high school with that lived in New Mexico?" And just ask him that and then tell him like how you know. I think that'd be super funny. Just ask him and see what he says. They were good homies. Like I feel like I've told this story before. I was at work and I worked with this girl and she's like, "Oh, you do BMX?" I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "I have a friend who does BMX." And I'm like, "That's cool." She's like, "Yeah, he does YouTube. I guess he's kind of popular." And I'm like, "Oh, really? What's his name?" She's like, "Oh, have you heard of Anthony Panza?" I'm like, "Shut up." And so anyway, she FaceTimed him at work, and I was like, "Dang, that's crazy." They went to high school together. It was the wildest thing ever. Uh, Brady says Harvester is awesome as well. Another local shop called Sam's BMX. They both play a big part in the community. Brady, this is something I was gonna, well, kind of off topic, kind of on topic, but Harvester. So there was a thing I saw on Facebook. Ooh, my neck hurts. There's a thing I saw on Facebook, and this guy was like, "Should I buy this fit bike from my shop? I want it for Flatland, and they will upgrade it for Flatland for me. It'll cost $700 out the door, or I could order it from Flatland Fuel. I think that's what it was called. It's a different bike, but they'll also upgrade it to be Flatlandy for me at $700." And this guy was like, "Dude, why would you order online? Like, support your local shop." And just kept like dogging him for even considering to not support his local shop. And I'm like, first of all, so I commented my 2 cents, right? I said, "Dude, your local shop does not care about you. Your local shop does not care about BMX. That's the only BMX bike they have in stock. 99% of bike shops have a BMX bike like off in the corner, maybe 2 or 3, and that's it, right? They have the road bikes, the mountain bikes, everything else. They don't care. You say, "Hey, I broke my pedals." They're like, "Oh, cool, we can order you some." What good does that do, right? And Barrick and I were talking about this last night. There, on one hand, I could probably count the amount of strictly BMX shops that one actually care about the BMX riders in the community, and two care about BMX in general. Like there's Pusher in Colorado, Harvester, right? You said Sam's. There's Empire. There's there's a small amount that are Gen X, and it's a hard industry to be in for sure. But the fact, like, to my point on that comment is like, dude, just to say support your local shop for the sake of supporting your local shop is ridiculous if they literally do nothing for you or nothing for the community. So I don't know. What do you guys think about that? It was funny. I just put that poll on the community tab to ask you guys, do you work on your bikes yourself or do you take it to a shop? And like 88% of you said, I work on it myself. So like, what is that shop even doing? What, you know what I mean? I don't know. Now, okay, to Brady's point, they sponsor a bunch of street and park jams and stuff, and that's good. And I have 2 shops where I'm at, right? The one owner I cannot stand. He is the worst. I think Chase had a bad experience with him. And then there's one that's half decent, right? But they do literally nothing for the community. So it's Brady, you are so fortunate to have 2 shops in your area that care about it and like will actually I talked to the guy that owns Harvester on the phone and dude, that guy genuinely cares about the sport. It's like there's not many good dudes like that. So you're super fortunate, Brady. And that is sick. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Noah says I have an Eastern lowdown to start off right now, and the Colt or until the next Colt comes out. I heard that Colt was not coming out with new bikes until October. Uh, yo, Nick is in the chat. What's up, Nick? Nick and I one time. Nick, I haven't seen you in like 5 years. What are you doing? All right, guys, I am way over an hour, so I'm gonna look for a few. Well, I'm pretty much at the end too, so I'm gonna look for a few different good questions if there are any that stand out, and then we're gonna pop off of here. But hold on, everyone's popping in what size bars they ride, so this is good. Titus rides 9.25. Lucas rides 9. DeSantos rides 9.1 to 9.25. Titus says 9 or 9.25. Okay, so it seems like everyone's right around 9. Barrick rides 9.5. 9.25 is a good size for most. Um, interesting, interesting. Okay, cool. So that answers my question. I definitely thought 9.5 would be a more popular answer, but I was wrong. So good. Thank you guys for sharing that. I appreciate it. I feel like that's something your teacher says, huh? Oh, thank you for sharing. Sorry. Forget I ever said that. I'm out. Nick wants to film. Yeah, Nick, let's make an edit, dude. Are you even here? Yiko says, "What's the biggest trick you ever did?" Yiko, I think my favorite is a front flip. I don't know why. I want to say 360 double whip or something, but I've never actually landed it, sadly. I've been battling it forever. Front flip's definitely to me the biggest one, and it was one of the easiest. The first time when I landed it, the second time I overshot, went like I broke. I think I broke ribs. My These two ribs are protruding. We talked about it at the chiropractor. They've been like when I crashed and did it, like they were popped out, and I was like, "Oh, this isn't good." So we tried to pop them back in, but nothing happened. And now 2 years later, I just have like two bones poking out here, but it makes my pecs look bigger, so that's okay. We're fine with it. You know what I mean? Noah moved to Arizona. Most of the skate parks in my area ban bikes. You have a local one. So if you're in Phoenix, Noah, go to Chandler. Chandler's the best. Goodyear's North Phoenix. Peoria's around there. But Goodyear says no bikes, but you're fine to ride bikes in there. Same. Most of the parks in Arizona are going to be fine. Tucson, you get an indoor park. If you are anywhere else, I don't know, but I know those areas pretty solid. Bizzle, Messerol, I think I just saw a post about them on Dig, right? Mess- Maybe I just saw a post about them. Um, anyway, that's good, man. You have a good shop. I saw you tag them on your complete build, and like they were super hyped for you. Oh, look, I was just here now. I This is fun. This thing popped up and it says enter your email to spin the wheel. And if I spin the wheel, I could get $5 off, 5% off, free shipping. This is genius. Good way to build your email list. I support that for sure. Why is everything so expensive there though? $15 Hoder grips? Oh my God. What do you guys think about the Sunday Baker bike? I saw Sunday posted that they were doing a giveaway and there was a lot of people like hating on it, hardcore hating on it. What do you guys think? I don't know. I don't agree or disagree. I guess it's none of my business. Yeah, okay, Bizzle. I saw them because I was looking for stuff for the podcast, to talk about, and dude, I read 1 paragraph so far. I haven't read much, but I'm going to, and it sounds like they're a really good shop. Yeah, Baker Skateboards and Sunday made a bicicletta. Lu Lucas says my local shop charged me 50 Canadian to tighten my cone nuts on my hub. Dude, Lucas, I will make an stuff to help one day that you don't get ripped off. That's crazy. All right, guys. I don't see any um crazy good questions. I think I got them all. So anyway, we're at an hour 10 minutes. Guys, Friday lives are happening again Friday mornings as long as I don't have to work. Even if I do have to work, I'll just push them back to Friday evening and Sunday night so I have everything set up again. Tuesday, a huge video with all the comparisons between the $500 to $600 bikes is out, and hopefully, we'll see if Barrick pulls through and does this podcast episode. Tuesday on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all that stuff. We will have a nice podcast with Barrick and I. And on Wednesday, the podcast will be on YouTube. And yeah, any last minute questions? All right. I don't see anything, but all right, guys, you guys have a great rest of your day. Thank you for popping in and enjoy your Sunday. I hope you guys got lots of shredding done this weekend. Peace.